Let's talk about Lacan's tripartite structure of language. The first part is the imaginary order, the image. You look at the alphabet, you just see these markings on a page. You can tell that this and this are different simply because of how they look. You just can see that they're different. The second one is the symbolic order. The symbolic order is the communicative tool. Language as significance between you and other people, performative. Say, for example, you're at a wedding and the person who's ordaining the couple says, like, I now pronounce you man and wife. He's just performed a linguistic action that has a kind of symbolic consequence to it. They're now married. So now this leaves us at the order of the real. The real is that which resists symbolization. It's when language begins to break down the unconscious, something that we're approaching and formed around, but never fully constituted by. You can only really think about the real through its knotting together with the imaginary and the symbolic. The imaginary real, the symbolic real, and the real real. This imaginary real should have the kind of feeling of an entity. When imaginary order of language has been stripped of its stabilization in the symbolic, and it just shows itself as raw, penetrating sound and symbols that cannot be held at bay by the subject, as if language itself had autonomy, had a will to enjoy its own proliferation. The symbolic real, it's that aspect that we see springing up around language as a kind of arbitrary machine that is creating significance. Language is a kind of covering or a veil. We all like to say that, family is actually something that is chosen, and my father isn't just my biological father, it's the father of my choosing. Though that is all well and true, it exposes the kind of haphazard way in which we denote symbolic titles to figures that are supposed to be composed by them, essentially. It exposes that father was always a covering of something that was never there. It's actually a construction that is made in order to supplant that void in the first place. If this originary absence is not sublimated healthily by the ego, then they are dangerously close to the real real. This is the aspect of language that has shown itself to be potentially completely self-enclosed, a kind of untethered, chaotic world of language signifying itself in this kind of looping that has no grounding, full of paranoiac demands in this destabilized, almost sublime sea of incomprehensibility.